I love these movies. Change the formula, keep the old one, reinvent it, do the same thing all over again. It don't matter. This franchise serves a purpose and it serves it well. And this new one is not really that different. Well, maybe just a little. They added just a tad bit more spice to get the casuals back in and made the deaths more grotesque and stress-inducing for us diehards. If you don't know anything about the Final Destination movies, ooh, how lucky you are. You have 5 movies, 6 including this one, to get you in that mood with a whole lot of killing and a whole lot of reactions. Ooh, ah, Is this new installment spectacular cinema? No. Does it need to be enjoyed?
Absolutely f***ing not.
It's been 14 years since the last one in this franchise.
Damn!
That's a long time. How do I think this movie is compared to the other ones? Let's get into it. There will be spoilers for the entire franchise, including this one. Most of the new things worth talking about are spoilers. Really. You cool with spoilers? Don't say I didn't warn you. Let's go. I'm going to be going over the franchise as a whole just a little. If you want to skip straight to my thoughts on Bloodlines, jump to this timestamp in the video. If not, come down Final Destination memory lane with me. I remember coming across the very first Final Destination movie. Or should I say when the owner of our DVD video rental store recommended it to us. All the way back in the early 2000s. Yeah kids, back in the day we would have to go to a DVD rental store, and if the owner was a good salesman and storyteller, which we were lucky enough to have, they could make any obscure movie sound like the next best thing that you wouldn't want to miss. Man, I actually really miss those days. You would walk into a store, you have movies everywhere, knee height, chest height, arms reach. Some I would need a stool because your boy 5'6", or as they say, short king. Rows upon rows of movies on either side of the store. Man, those were the days. And that's what happened when it came to the very first Final Destination. The store owner told us just enough to get my father, my brother, and myself enticed and intrigued to rent it and pop it into our DVD player. And in the past, less these days, we would go into movies with almost no expectations whatsoever. Listen to the store owner, read the back of the DVD cover, and if your house had a computer, hopefully with DSL connection and not dial-up. That's the sound of patience right there. You could actually go to the movie's official website and look it up. Or maybe you could catch it on cable television. Yeah, that was a thing of the past too. You would flip through channels instead of flipping through streaming services like we do now. Because let's not forget, the first movie came out in the year 2000. And YouTube wasn't a thing till 2005. So you would kind of run into the trailer rather than look for it. So when we watched the first movie, it was, with all honesty, a surprisingly entertaining, gory for 2000 standards. The very first death to open this franchise though was one hell of a doozy, one hell of an entry. Watching with my family, it felt like it went on forever. The choking sounds, the eyes turning red, you're watching it with your face turned to the side, peeking to see if it's done. You're like,
A few moments later.
Still going on. Damn. If I had the choice of dying in a plane explosion or by prolonged toilet wire choking torture, I'ma splurge on a first class ticket with shower, lounge, massage, fine dining for that flight. Best believe, fam. And the rest of that first movie had a whole lot of R-rated fun for the whole entire family. If you find teenagers being chased by death itself fun, which we did. My parents didn't really have any restrictions when it came to viewing movies, and I thank and I love you for that. The premise of these movies are simple enough. The lead character has a premonition about a horrific disaster moments before it actually takes place. First movie's disaster being a plane explosion. In the kerfuffle, a certain number of characters remove themselves or are removed from the situation, and in their terror, the massacre does come to pass. Unbeknownst to the survivors, death itself is coming to collect what is rightfully his. Because even death doesn't take well to those who try to cheat their way out of it. Nobody likes a cheater. And the characters have to find a way to decipher death's design for themselves, figure out the order to which they were going to die in the horrific accident, so the lead character can mess up the design that was set for them and hopefully break the cycle and cheat death again. And pray that death will leave it at that. But death is unforgiving and will get you. Swiftly or slowly, depending on your luck in these movies. But in the end, he will get what he is owed. So when that is the premise and rules of your movie, there is a ton of fun to be had, if utilized correctly, which the first movie did in spades, and the latter ones to varying degrees. Added to that, the characters were being hunted by an unforeseen force that made it almost more scary and spooky, because death could look like your worst nightmare, or a Grim Reaper type, or a man in a suit just trying to do his job. After teenagers messed with his schedule. You bloody kids! Don't ask me why he sounds like an old grandpa trying to get kids off his lawn. The beauty of these movies is that they don't waste time. It's about 90 to 100 minutes. They know what the audience is waiting for in a sadistic, vicious, barbaric kind of way, and they hop right to it. Every subsequent movie after it understood this and played to our perverse desires and gave us more elaborate catastrophes with even more elaborate deaths. And we kept coming back asking for more. And this franchise has cemented itself in popular culture and everyday life very well. Final Destination 2 had us never drive behind a truck carrying logs or anything for that matter. Those things never ever look safe. Bro, change lanes. Change lanes. I am not driving behind that thing. Final Destination 3 had you questioning if riding the roller coaster was well worth the thrill of death and temporary adrenaline. I still went on them. Does that make me cool or fearless or someone with a devil-may-care attitude? I'll let you be the judge of that. Part 4, the Daytona NASCAR one, which is by far the definitive weakest one in the franchise. God help me, the acting in that one baffles the mind. You're not corn stars. Could you please try to emote every once in a while? At least the corn stars had the decency to actually emote. You get the feeling every take chosen for that fourth movie was the warm-up take. But some of the deaths were decent, so I'll give it that. One or two were pretty good. I'll give you that. Nothing else. And part 5, Final Destination, very clever, had a bridge collapse with a very unexpected ending for all those about to embark on this Final Destination journey. I won't spoil that for you. It's pretty fun. Also, I used to be a flight attendant, and the first movie had a plane explode. I kid you not, at least 60% of the time, I had the Final Destination theme running in my mind, and would even hum it on occasion. Funny thing is, sometimes people would ask me what it was I was humming, and I always thought, it's better I don't tell you before going 40,000 feet up in the air. Let's keep tension down to a minimum. Marathoning this franchise every 2 or so years is something I've been doing for a while. Sometimes paying full attention or just as background noise. Popping my head back in to look at the good stuff. You know what good stuff I'm talking about. And now we come to the 6th one in the franchise. Final Destination Bloodlines. And how does it fare compared to the others? Bloodlines is a bloody good hour and 45 minutes spent watching a movie. All that are familiar with the concept will enjoy all the added ideas. And to all those that have never seen a single one of these movies, let's just say after watching this one,
gentlemen, you have my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
the one thing I would say I enjoyed most sinisterly are the deaths. They were much more intricate, much more elaborate, much more stress and smile-inducing than I thought they were going to be. Although I could have done with one more gnarlier death. Don't ask me why, I just wanted it. Detailed, grotesque, balls to the walls, or should I say guts to the wall. Come on, you know you wanted it too. I was thinking we should have more characters to annihilate in more vicious ways. Say 5, 6 episodes on HBO, on Netflix. Make that HBO. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Don't look at me like that, you know you want them too. There's a reason franchises like this and Saw are still raking in cash at the box office. Cause they know you want it too. Women watch murder mystery true life horror documentaries about serial killers that decapitate and dismember their victims as white noise to go to sleep. And you don't see me staring at them the way you're staring at me right now. We can all enjoy what we choose to enjoy and judge each other silently behind closed doors like civilized people. Final Destination Bloodlines does try to change up the formula a little. In the previous installments, the lead character would have a premonition about the incident. They would avert it, and then death would come for them one by one. However, in this one, the grandmother of the lead character has the vision of the accident that took place in the 70s at a high-rise restaurant. Her grandmother and others in attendance avert it, and over a long period of time, everyone who was there and their offspring starts dying off. But death this time is having a hard time with the grandmother because she seems to have a very strong knack to staying away from death's design for her, the strongest knack the franchise has ever seen. I mean, she can notice death trying to mess her up at every corner. I could just picture death at this moment. This bloody she won't die! But she can only ward off death from the comfort of her house. Comfort is a loose term. Until the day her granddaughter comes to see her because she starts having nightmares about the day her grandmother had her premonition. And when the granddaughter refuses to believe her about the forces at nature, the grandmother uses herself to prove her point. I'm sure there could have been other ways, maybe brainstorm possible ideas that would make her believe. Nope. Okay. Because the moment she steps outside, wow! I'm sure at this moment he was saying, finally! This must have been the hardest client I've ever had in my immortal life. Any of your other family members get in my way the same way she has? I'm gonna take my time with you. That's a promise. He's already pissed off you cheated Death. Don't make him more pissed off, damn! And now that the grandmother is out of the way, Death can now shift his mischievously deadly entertaining antics towards the remaining bloodline. And honestly, once that story beat is out of the way, the movie goes back to its old roots. And we get to those nasty, gnarly, gruesome deaths within the next 10 minutes. And one by one, you wait with anticipation to see how inventive Death is going to be this time. I know I keep going on and on about it, but that's why you come and see these movies. I went in with certain expectations and they were fulfilled. Everything falling and rolling into place, eagerly anticipating how the axe or the lawnmower is gonna drop. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh! That's horrible. Oh man, poor family. In today's climate of movies being what they are, going in with certain expectations and having them close to being met, I take that as an absolute win. The acting in this movie for the most part serves its purpose. I did think the lead actress, the granddaughter, was a bit bland compared to all the other protagonists in this franchise. Better than part 4, I'll give her that. Absolutely. To be honest, I wanted a lot more of the grandmother and her super sixth senses in detecting what Death was up to. The little time that we did have with her, I thought that she could have carried the entire movie, have her stay one step ahead of Death until she couldn't anymore, and maybe meet her demise later in the movie, doing something heroic, dodging Death until the very end. But I suppose she needed to die so the bloodline would come next. I just feel it was a missed opportunity if you ask me. She seemed like she would have been a hoot as a protagonist, and characters that are a little cuckoo are always fun to watch. Or even the tattoo piercings guy. Man, does he wish he didn't have those piercings. He was hella fun to watch. To be honest, any of the other family members would have been a better choice than her. What? I'm being honest. The lead in this movie was a bit of a bore. And this also might be the best one yet from a filmmaking standpoint. It has been 14 years and you can definitely tell. And they did this thing with the camera every now and then where you could almost feel like something was hovering over them, watching them, which it obviously was. Had a very ominous vibe to it and it stood out to me every time it happened. If I was to nitpick, I would say about 7 to 10 minutes could have been taken out of this movie. There was some family drama with the grandmother and the mother. They were estranged. The mother hates the grandmother. The granddaughter hates her mother because she wasn't around. Because the grandmother was obsessed with Death because she was trying to destroy her family. Geez, selfish much? And they didn't really go anywhere or they did absolutely nothing with it. So removing it somewhat would have made the runtime shorter and would have made it easier on the rewatches. Because I'm definitely fast forwarding that nonsense next time I watch it. But that's a nitpick. We have Tony Todd coming back for his last curtain call as the character Bloodworth for this franchise after passing unfortunately to stomach cancer. And you can see him giving it his all and we the fans say thank you and may you rest in peace. I believe this movie has a lot of bang for its buck. Gave me everything I loved about the Final Destination franchise. Didn't add too much to make it feel bloated. Just a little bit maybe. I would definitely like another one that expands on more interesting ideas, with the most interesting character being the lead. No offense to the lead in this one. She just left a lot to be desired. How did you like Final Destination Bloodlines? Did it meet your expectations? Did it fall short? Is this the first Final Destination you have ever watched? Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning into my channel. And as always, peace, love, and
I'll see you soon.